It's a moving memorial dedicated to the youngest casualties of World War II.
Probably one of the most common comments we get after a tour is people go, "I had no idea. I didn't know any of that."
Gilbert Terry is a tour guide with the National Museum of the Mighty 8th Air Force.
That's our job. We tell stories. There are stories about people that fell out of bombers and lived, and there are stories about incredible bravery. And we keep those stories alive. It's important.
This is a story of unimaginable tragedy.
It's said that it was the second most tragic event of the Second World War. I can't think of what would have been first, but it was certainly the saddest because of the children.
August 23, 1944, 61 people lost their lives in the small village of Freckleton, England, 38 of them children. It's considered the single largest disaster suffered by Allies in the entire war.
Two B-24 bombers were on a mission, not a mission really, it was a test flight. And they ran into incredibly bad weather. Back then the weather would catch them by surprise. We didn't have all the radar and the stuff that we have now. And it was such a severe storm, one of them got hit by lightning and crashed into a school.
Only 3 of those students survived. 5-year-old Ruby Whittle was one of them.
I'm dreaming of a white.
Bing Crosby visited the hospital, and there were 3 children at this particular hospital, and they were like 70% of their body was burned. And he sat on the edge of the bed of a 5-year-old girl named Ruby, and he could only hold her fingertips because that's all that was sticking out of the bandages. And he asked her did she have any requests for a song for him to sing. She said, well, her mother sang a couple of songs. One of them was White Christmas. He started to sing and he choked up. He couldn't do it looking at her. He tried a couple of times and he finally excused himself and he went in the hall outside the ward, composed himself, and he said that he had to sing the song from in the hall where he couldn't see her. And it was probably the toughest performance he ever gave.
Ruby, whose last name later became Carell, is now 77 years old. In her wallet, she carries a picture of Eddie Stinger, the American MP who pulled her from the burning building.
There were a lot of Americans involved in that situation, and most of the pallbearers at the funeral were aviation crew members.
Ruby occasionally travels to Savannah to visit the memorial, placing flowers there on the anniversary of a day she'll never forget, a poignant piece of history forever kept alive through the Mighty 8th Museum and Gil Terry's stories.